How to carry a conversation with anyone. I want to break down in this video with you guys a practical technique that I was literally just going over with a client on a coaching call. I gave him some really valuable advice and he was like, wow, I never thought about it this way. So I wanted to share this technique with you guys. So by the end of this video, you could take this concept and start to inject it into every conversation you have with men, with women, with strangers that you see in passing, to start to extend conversations and turn these interactions into friendships, into potential dates, into business opportunities. This is a universal concept that you could be doing with pretty much anybody. So if you look at any interaction, after breaking down so many recordings of conversations with clients, I noticed that in almost every interaction, in one shape or another, the idea of how's your day going comes up, right? It's either how's your day going? What are you up to? Hey, what's up? What's going on? How's everything been? Right? It comes up a lot. And even with people that you give greetings to, there's an opportunity to extend that interaction if you just use this concept. So I want to show you guys how to have a flavorful answer for this and a couple different ways you could play around with this answer, because in my opinion, it's a universal concept. Everybody, it's almost like a very common greeting. It's like, hey, what's up? It's used on almost anybody. So if you can master this one thing, you now have a gateway to carry any conversation for at least a couple of minutes. All right. So the first thing that I want to say with this is, like, there's two parts to it. There's an improvisational part to it, and then there's also like a canned or stock answer that you can use. And I think really, if I look at like old school pickup concepts, they were really big on teaching canned lines and canned material. And I think that that's great to have as a default, because when you're in interactions right now, you already have default canned answers that you use. If somebody says, hey, how's your day going? Most people's default answer to that is just good, you, right? So you already have canned answers. If somebody asks you where you're from, what's your name, how's your day going, what do you do for work, where did you go to school, you already have canned answers. And so I think that preparing a little bit more of a flavorful canned answer, and I'll show you guys how to do that in this video, will already spice up the interactions more and give you more confidence. But there's also the other side to it that I think the old school pickup stuff fails to teach, which is more of the improvisational side of it. And I think natural style game, that many naturals that have natural game are very good at improv, but very few people do I see have both. And if you can have a little bit of the witty or improv skills plus some flavorful canned material to transition or fall back on, now you can really dominate your conversation. So let me show you how we can use both of these in this topic, because no matter who you're talking to, at any point in the conversation, you could always just transition into, how's your day going, by the way? That's the easiest topic that you could bring up. How's your day going, by the way? Even if I just saw somebody and I said, hey, good morning, assuming they responded, I could easily just say, how's your day going, by the way? If somebody got into the elevator, I said, hey, what's up? You going to the lobby? Okay, cool. Yeah, how's your day going, by the way? Right? If you approach somebody and you gave them a compliment, they said, thank you so much. You can say, yeah, how's your day going, by the way? Right? So even if you're in the middle of an interaction and you're 2, 3, 4 minutes in and the conversation dies and you run out of things to say and you're about to eject out, you could always just go into, yeah, so like, how's everything been going with you? Like, how's your day going? You can always use this line. Now, the problem where everybody goes wrong with it is understanding that when you ask somebody, how's your day going? They're always going to say, it's going good. You know, it's going good, can't complain. It's not bad, it's going good, right? That's all that they're gonna say, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, because the first part to this is that understand that the moment that they give their answer, you can now just give your answer. Just because they didn't say, how about you? How's your day going? Like, they don't need to ask that. The fact that you already asked them how their day is going and they said good, even if they don't say, how about you? If nothing else, you can always just go into your pre-planned material. Okay, so that's why it's such a good fallback. If nothing else, we have this in the back pocket, which I'll get to in a minute. But before that, I would recommend going into some sort of observation or improvisational thing that you see. So be prepared that when you ask them, how's your day going? Pay attention to their answer. And I don't just mean the words. The words is likely just gonna be, it's going good or can't complain. But pay attention to their mood and energy and demeanor behind the answer. Because a lot of the times, even if I'm in the elevator and it's Monday morning and somebody gets in the elevator and say, hey, good morning, how's your day going? They're gonna say, oh, it's good. Or they might be like, it's good. Or they might say, it's good, right? Because it's Monday morning. And so the mood around it is kind of like, it's good. But that's something you could actually comment on right there. So like, part of being good at improvisational conversation is being able to make observations. I talk so much about this idea of observations, but I think men often think that observations is just, oh, she has this crazy tiara on that says happy birthday, or she's wearing this bright, sparkly outfit that I could make an observation about. Yeah, those are really obvious observations, or she has a really strong accent or like a really blatant, colorful tattoo. But the more subtle observations that are oftentimes even more powerful to comment on is their mood or their energy behind their answer, right? And if you can point that thing out in a way that resonates with them, oftentimes that will really get the interaction to open up too. So like if it's Monday or Tuesday or Friday or Saturday, like I already know that in the back of my mind, and now I'm going to look at their answer from that perspective. Because if it's Monday morning and they're like, yeah, it's going good, right? They're excited and it's Monday morning, and I could probably comment on that and be like, wow, you are the most excited person I've seen for a Monday morning. Like you must have like an office party going on that you're headed to right now. Or you must have had the most relaxing weekend and you're just like super refreshed now, ready for the work week. Or if it's Friday afternoon and they say that, I might be like, damn, like I wish I was almost as excited as you for the weekend. Do you have like big plans coming up, or you must have had a long week? Or we could do the opposite. Let's just say it's Friday morning and they're like, yeah, it's good. Everything's good. You could then comment on that too and be like, honestly, I'm right there with you. Like I had such a good weekend, and now that it's Monday, I'm like, like it's good that it's Monday, but damn, like at the same time, I'm like, fuck, it's Monday. So that right there, notice how all I took was the answer that they said, which was, it's good, or yeah, it's good, right? They're either excited or they're unenthusiastic and they're kind of like meh, right? That could be for Monday or Tuesday. You could use this same thing on Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. It's hump day. Everybody that works throughout the week, their work week is kind of like dragging out. And so Wednesday is kind of this day where they're like not yet there for the weekend, but they're almost there for the weekend. We're just kind of like making it through the week, one day at a time. So you can use these concepts no matter what day of the week it is. Thursday means it's almost Friday. Friday means, yes, it's Friday, it's the weekend. The weekend means, thank God it's the weekend. It was a long week, or I'm not ready for it to be Monday, or I was waiting for some relaxation time to recharge and refresh myself. So the days of the week in relation to their mood and their energy is really powerful. So time of the day, if it's the morning, it could have, Monday or Tuesday in the morning, it's like, damn, I'm not ready for this. Or I really need my coffee right now. Like you can use these concepts on any day. And by the way, this is not just with how your day's going. This could be with anything. So if I ask like, what ethnicity are you, by the way? And she says, like, she gives an answer, but she has like this weird like energy behind it. Comment on the energy. Like maybe, I don't know, she might be like really proud or excited about her ethnicity, and you could comment on that, like, wow, your ancestors must be so proud of you. Like you said that with like so much energy and pride, right? So, or she could be the opposite, and you could be like, damn, did like something happen? Did you have like a bad experience like when you were in Mexico or some shit, right? So I'm always looking at the energy and the mood and the demeanor behind the answer, because if you can comment on that thing and you especially if you hit it properly, that oftentimes will get a very enthusiastic response from the person. Okay, so that one part alone is really powerful. You hear me talk a lot on my channels about this idea that you should be using observations, but I think, guys, one of the most common complaints I hear with a lot of clients of mine is, I don't see anything unique to comment on. I don't see anything to compliment them on. I don't really see anything to make an observation on, right? Because a lot of people just dress kind of plain and they talk kind of unenthusiastically. So this is just another tool in the toolbox that you can add in, because if you have enough of these tools, you can pretty much make any interaction work. But I noticed that one thing works really well. But aside from that, let's move into the canned material. So I just showed you guys one way that you could start to become more observational and more improvisational in real time. And that's great because I would always prefer a genuine, authentic observation that's super relevant to what's going on. That's the most authentic form of communication that will get like the most powerful responses typically. Now, what do we do if we don't have anything to comment on and we don't really have anything to work with? Well, that's the beautiful thing of having some pre-planned canned material that you could always fall back on. And so what I was talking about with my client about these answers, like I was literally breaking down the recordings of his interaction. And as we were going through it line by line, I paused it and I had this conversation with him. And so like before I dive deep into that, guys, I didn't say this at the beginning of the video, but if you're watching the content and it's not, your social confidence or your dating life isn't changing and you want to accelerate that progression, you can click the link down below and apply to work with me directly if you want that more in-depth coaching to achieve the social life and dating life you've always wanted. All right, but back to the canned material side of this, what I was telling my client was, because he was like, well, I don't really know what to say. If they just say good, like, what do I do? And the first thing I explained to him was just because they said good doesn't mean you can't start talking about yourself. First, see if there's an observation you can make or some sort of improvisational thing about their energy, their mood, the situation, the day of the week, like anything like that. If nothing else, it's an easy segue to now give your own answer as if they asked you, how's your day going? They don't need to ask you that. The conversation topic is already about how their day's going. They said good. You say, okay, that's what's up, my day. And then you go into your answer. And what I proceeded to tell my client was, you need to think about what are the one or two unique things that you do that are fun, that are exciting, that you're passionate about, that really ignite you, that could captivate some kind of curiosity or attention from other people, right? And so as I started to go through my client's day, the things that he's the most passionate about, that he really likes is health. Like he's really big into going into the gym and he loves cooking. So oftentimes he's going out, getting ingredients, cooking, and like doing fitness classes and stuff like that. The other thing that he's really big into is he produces music. So he's really big into electronic music and EDM. Maybe it's even the same thing. That's not my type of music, but he's really big into producing that type of stuff. So because of those things, I told him, instead of you just saying, yeah, my day's going good too, talk about those things because that's typically what you're gonna be up to anyway. So it's better that you actually have a nice lengthy answer that has some of those pieces of information in it that could hook the other person into the conversation. So even if they just said, yeah, I mean, my day is good. How about you? Or, it's going good, can't complain. How about yourself? Don't just say, yeah, me too. And then the conversation dies, and then you're panicking, thinking about what's the next conversation topic to talk about. Go into your pre-planned material about what are you up to? How's your day going? It's a very easy answer. And what I told him was it could be something around cooking and going to the gym, or it could be something around making music. It could be something around both of these things. Okay, like me personally, I think one of the most unique things that I do is I film content. I manage a team of employees. So I have my coaches, I have my content team, I have a bunch of clientele. I'm always on either coaching calls or like client calls or filming content. And so those things are very interesting. If I talk to somebody and said, how's your day going? And I just said, honestly, it was kind of a rough morning. Like I just got off of a meeting with my content production team. We were breaking down a couple different things, but I got a lot of filming to do when I get back. That's going to provoke a lot of curiosity within the other person. They can be like, wait, you have a content production team. What type of content do you do? Are you online? Are you on YouTube? Like, you could see how that statement would provoke a nice response, right? And that was me saying, it's going okay. Or I could be like, in the opposite side, I could be like, honestly, my day is going really well. I just finished up my workout. I'm about to go have a nice little energy drink, turn on the camera and film some content. So I'm trying to get like in the right headspace, get the creative juices flowing. How's your day going, right? That would provoke a very interesting response too, because it's a unique thing. Now, I can always say that answer no matter where I'm at. I could always say that answer because I film content pretty much on a daily basis. So I'm always either thinking about it or I have client calls or coaching calls. So you want to start thinking about this for yourself. If you're somebody who's a little bit more less unique, because I can see a lot of you guys being like, well, I don't have a content production team, Kyle, now what? think about what are the things you like to do. Like with my client, I told him, I said, dude, just the fact that you like to cook a lot and you eat healthy meals is good. Like you could use that in a sense. You could say, yeah, honestly, my day is going good too. I was just finishing up some work. I was getting really hungry, but I don't know, I wanted to cook up something unique. I'm like really into cooking. And so I was looking up some recipes online. I'm actually headed to the grocery store right now. I was gonna pick up some ingredients, make this really healthy blah, blah, blah meal, right? Do you like to cook too? Are you into healthy foods, or like what are you having for lunch? That's a very unique conversation topic. Now, it's not this crazy demonstration of high value, but dude, it's a unique conversation topic where you're not just saying, yeah, my day is good, how about you? Like have something cool to talk about. People like talking about fitness and health. People like talking about just being productive, feeling good, getting shit done, going to the gym. Most men that I speak to though, they have at least one thing that they're really passionate or into. Now, if it's like video games, probably not the best topic to talk about with women. Find something that appeals to most people and just find a way that you could add that into the sentence, because that alone is enough to get a conversation off the ground. It does not need to be some crazy, amazing thing. Yeah, I'm excited because I got my yacht coming. I'm gonna take the helicopter over to the yacht soon. It doesn't need to be that. It could be as simple as, I'm really excited actually. I just found this amazing recipe online. I'm going to the grocery store right now, pick up some ingredients. I don't know, I was just finishing up some work, so I was like, you know what, let me cook up a little something different for today. But that's what I'm up to. How's your day going? Like, that is a good answer, and it's not that crazy. It's not that unique. It's cool, it's different, but you can have that pre-planned. And when you deliver it the right way with enthusiasm, and it's aligned with something that you're into, that right there is the foundation to have a conversation. And you could do that with anybody, man. Anybody. The bar is set really low. Most people will say, good, you? Yeah, it's going good. Cool. All right, well, take care. No, be the guy that has something different to say. So you always want to see, is there something I can comment on? Anything I can make an observation on? And then if nothing else, okay, awesome. I have this thing I can fall back on. And when you get better with this, so that's the homework right there. I challenge you to come up with a 2-sentence phrase that talks about things that you like to do and that you're excited to do, whether it's today or this upcoming weekend or starting next week. And then start going out into the world and asking people, after you give them a greeting or a compliment, say, how's your day going, by the way? And get ready, because they're gonna say, good, you, and now you dump in your story, okay? That's the homework right there. If you want to take it to an even more advanced level, I would recommend you do this for multiple questions. You could do this for, what do you do for fun? What do you do for work? How old are you? Do you live in this area? These are very common questions that come up. If you have a nice answer for each one of these things, I mean, that right there can make you an amazing conversationalist if you can master those five questions right there. All right, if you want to take it to an even more advanced level, or if you want to accelerate your learning curve with this, click the link down below. You can apply to work with me directly. I'd love to help you as well. Tighten up your conversation skills, get you into more interactions with women, help you approach women, land the dating life you've always dreamed of, and make a real transformation with this stuff, guys. I struggled with this for a really long time when I was younger. Now I coach men worldwide to do this, and I want to help you as well. Link is down below. That's all for this one, guys. Peace out. Let's go.